Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're exploring a truly profound concept. What if the stars in your night sky weren't just distant suns, but living archives of your world's hopes and dreams?
Hmm.
And what if those very lights, those shimmering records of our collective potential, actually started to fade?
It's a powerful idea.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's the idea at the heart of the narrative we're diving into today. We'll be following the incredible odyssey of a small, quiet creature named Phelan, who comes from this serene place called the Whispering Valley.
Right.
So our mission for this deep dive is basically to unpack the source material that tells Phelan's tale. We want to explore how a seemingly insignificant creature takes on this cosmic duty.
And what that might mean for us.
Exactly. What profound insights this allegorical journey offers each of us, maybe when we look up at the stars. Okay, let's unpack this incredible story.
Yeah, it's a really compelling premise. And what's truly fascinating here is how this narrative invites us to consider the tangible impact of intangible concepts. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
the fading stars and the dust of forgetting. That's such an evocative phrase. They aren't just poetic flourishes. They're really powerful metaphors. They're central elements in a story that sort of compels us to reflect on the immense power of our collective aspirations. And maybe conversely, the quiet but profound costs of neglecting them.
The cost of forgetting.
Exactly. This is a unique narrative. It weaves this rich tapestry of meaning, and we're going to explore that deeper meaning as we move through Phelan's remarkable journey.
Okay, so let's start then. Let's begin our journey in the Whispering Valley itself.
Good place to start.
The source describes it as this tucked away corner of the world. You picture ancient trees, maybe guarding secrets, and this crystal clear stream that sings lullabies to mossy stones.
Sounds peaceful.
Totally. Gentle slopes, soft breezes, and it perpetually smells faintly of pine needles and damp earth. It really paints a picture of utter tranquility, a realm of harmony and balance.
Which is important context for Phelan.
Right. What kind of individual would emerge from such an idyllic setting? Well, that's our central character, Phelan. They're small, with fur the color of twilight shadows, and eyes that mirror the deep, reflective hue of a calm evening sky. Their movements are described as soft, almost imperceptible, like a falling leaf.
Wow.
So it's clear from the outset that Phelan is a creature deeply attuned to their environment. And above all, they deeply love the night.
And it's significant that Phelan comes from a place of such deep equilibrium. I think that sets the stage for how they perceive and how they react to the unsettling changes that are coming.
That makes sense.
And it's in Phelan's world that we encounter this truly unique concept, the sky gems.
Ah, yes, the sky gems.
These aren't just distant suns. No. The source describes them as exquisite jewels, luminous treasures scattered and embedded in the vast velvet cloth of night.
Beautiful imagery.
It is, but their most remarkable characteristic is their inherent purpose. Each one, we learn, holds a tiny flicker of the world's hopes, dreams, and forgotten wishes.
Wow. Not just light, then.
Not just light at all. It's a collective shimmer, described as a comforting hum, a silent lullaby that makes the night feel safe and magical. To Phelan, the sky is truly a vast, glittering tapestry woven from cosmic dreams.
Like a tapestry of dreams.
Exactly. It paints this vivid picture of a universe intimately connected to the inner lives, the aspirations, the forgotten longings of its inhabitants.
Yeah.
And it raises a fascinating question for us, doesn't it? What if our own night sky was such a direct reflection of our collective human spirit?
That's a powerful thought to start with. And life in this valley, then, influenced by these sky gems, must flow with this tranquil, almost meditative rhythm.
Seems like it.
Days are spent in simple joys, foraging for sweet sunberries, maybe plump dewworms, or just watching sunlight dapple through the ancient leaves. Simple pleasures. But nights, those are clearly for quiet contemplation beneath that magnificent dome of sky gems.
Oh.
And even the local flora and fauna are deeply impacted by this celestial connection. The glowworms in the crevices shine brightly, reflecting the stars above. The night-blooming moon lilies unfurl their petals with confident grace, basking in the celestial glow.
Everything's in sync.
Everything feels balanced, harmonious. And it's this profound sense of peace and rightness, I think, that makes the impending change even more poignant, even more unsettling.
And that's precisely where the narrative pivots. Because then this subtle, almost imperceptible shift begins.
Ah, here it comes.
It's not a sudden catastrophe, nothing dramatic like that. It's a slow, insidious onset of fading. The source notes that Phelan almost didn't notice at first.
Like you often don't with slow changes.
Yeah, exactly. A favorite cluster of sky gems, maybe one that usually sparkled like spilled diamonds, just seems, well, a little less vibrant.
Hmm.
Phelan might initially dismiss it, maybe think it's a passing cloud, but the sky remains clear. This gradual dimming, this creeping neglect,
Yeah.
it's far more unsettling than a sudden darkness would be. It's the kind of change we often miss in our own lives, right? A slow erosion of vitality, maybe.
And it doesn't stop there, does it? The next night, the dimness is described as a little more pronounced.
It progresses.
Yeah. And it's not just a dullness. Some of the smaller sky gems seem to have vanished entirely, leaving behind these small, unsettling patches of deeper black in the sky.
Gaps in the tapestry.
Exactly. Can you imagine that slow, insidious loss of something so fundamental, so comforting, so deeply ingrained in the very fabric of your world?
It would be terrifying.
It's a quiet dread, isn't it? A foundational certainty just slipping away.
It is. And the quiet anxiety that settles over the entire valley, though it's often unspoken, is deeply felt by Phelan, who is so attuned to their environment.
They'd notice everything.
Oh, absolutely. The signs are everywhere. The glowworms flicker weakly, as if struggling to remember how to shine.
Oh, wow.
The moon lilies, once so eager, now hesitate, some even failing to open their petals at all. It is. And the comforting hum of the sky gems, that silent lullaby we talked about, it fades into a faint, melancholic whisper. The night, once this blanket of comfort, now feels thinner, threadbare in places, as though its very essence is being worn away.
Threadbare. That's a good word for it.
It paints a vivid picture of a world slowly losing its vitality, its joy, its very sense of self, all because of something intangible.
And Phelan's personal worry mirrors this larger valley-wide anxiety. It becomes this quiet, soft furrow in their brow as they spend more and more time just gazing at the sky.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, trying to remember the exact patterns from previous nights, those comforting constellations they knew so well. But the missing sky gems make them feel fractured, incomplete. The source uses this beautiful and poignant analogy. It says it's like trying to read a cherished story when some of the words had simply vanished from the page.
Oh, that's powerful.
Isn't it? That really brings home the sense of loss and disorientation Phelan must feel, a fundamental part of their world's narrative literally disappearing before their eyes.
And it's against this backdrop, this fading light and growing anxiety, that Phelan experiences a pivotal prophetic dream.
Ah, the dream.
Yes. On one particularly dim night, Phelan finds themselves floating amidst the inky blackness, but surrounded by sky gems that are warm and almost alive.
A stark contrast to reality.
A huge contrast to the cold and distant reality they've been observing. This warmth is an immediate sign, I think, that this dream holds a truth, a vitality that the waking world is losing.
And then this incredible vision appears, an ancient, wise creature.
Translucent and shimmering with a faint inner light.
It's described with graceful, elongated limbs and eyes like swirling nebulae, very ethereal.
Definitely.
And with incredibly gentle movements, this creature holds a soft, glowing cloth and delicately polished a star.
And the effect?
Breathtaking. As the cloth brushes the star's surface, a fine, almost invisible dust seems to lift away.
The dust of forgetting.
Exactly. And the star beneath flares with breathtaking brilliance. It's just this moment of pure, luminous hope, a clear answer, really, to the valley's silent plea, played out in Phelan's dream world.
And the dream's message is conveyed, interestingly, not through spoken voice, but through a whisper that resonated directly in Phelan's mind.
Direct knowing.
Yes. A quiet resonance speaking of dust of forgetting and the song of light. This song is described as a melody of forgotten wishes and dormant hopes, waiting to be awakened.
Waiting to be awakened.
Phelan, mesmerized, just watches the creature move from gem to gem, restoring their glow with this graceful, ethereal dance. The dream feels intensely real, a quiet revelation. And what's key here is the immediate understanding Phelan has. There's no fear.
No fear.
No, it's an activation of purpose, not a nightmare.
So Phelan's awakening from this dream. It's not about fear then, it's about understanding.
Exactly. Deep understanding and a profound sense of purpose. The dream, the source says, gently nudged them, revealing a path Phelan hadn't known existed.
A path forward.
Yes. The fading sky gems needed tending, and Phelan knew somehow they were the one who had been called to tend them.
Wow.
It's a beautifully quiet and determined acceptance of destiny. No fanfare, no self-doubt, just this deep inner knowing.
That's powerful.
It's a powerful illustration how the call to action often originates from a place of deep intuition, doesn't it?
It really does. It truly is a critical moment. This shifts Phelan's role entirely
Yeah.
from being this passive observer of the valley's quiet anxiety to an active participant in its potential restoration.
Absolutely. And the determination that settles in Phelan's small chest is significant precisely because it's born not from ego or a desire for recognition, but from a profound sense of responsibility.
Right, responsibility.
They realize the Whispering Valley relied on the sky gems, and Phelan, though small, feels this responsibility stirring. They can't just watch the light fade. They must seek answers and act. This quiet resolve speaks volumes about their character.
So with this newfound purpose, Phelan begins to prepare for this, well, this immense journey. And it's these preparations that really highlight their grounded, thoughtful character. We learn they carefully found a small, sturdy satchel woven from tough vines. Practical.
Right.
Inside, they pack essentials. A smooth river stone, warmed by countless sunny afternoons, specifically for comfort in the dark, which is such a lovely, simple detail.
It anchors the magical and the familiar.
Totally. They also include a few dried sunberries, sweet and energizing for sustenance, and perhaps most touchingly, a tiny, meticulously drawn star chart.
The star chart.
Lovingly created over many nights, hoping it would help them remember the sky gems as they once were. Each item is so simple, yet so rich with meaning.
Indeed. That star chart isn't merely a map for navigation, is it? It's a tangible representation of what has been lost and what Phelan hopes to restore.
A symbol of hope.
It signifies memory, purpose, and a commitment to past beauty. The Riverstone, too, while seemingly simple, carries the warmth and familiarity of home. It's a tangible anchor in the face of the unknown.
Like a security blanket, almost.
Kind of. And the sunberries. Not just food, but a taste of the valley's inherent goodness. A reminder of what they're fighting for. These aren't just provisions. They are symbolic talismans for a journey of the spirit as much as the body.
That's a great way to put it.
It emphasizes that even the most profound journeys begin with simple, intentional preparations.
Absolutely. And Phelan concludes this section with a silent promise to the Sleeping Valley. Tracing the outline of their cozy hollow with a soft paw and whispering, they would bring the light back. It's not a boast or a grand declaration. It's a quiet, unwavering commitment. It really sets the tone for an epic, yet deeply personal and quiet quest.
A promise made not for glory.
No, but for connection and restoration.
Beautiful.
So with that quiet, powerful promise made, Phelan sets off just as twilight paints the western sky. The air is cool, carrying the scent of damp earth and distant pine.
And the sky gems.
Even dimmer than the night before, their faint glow is barely enough to illuminate the immediate path. Despite a flutter of apprehension, though, the vivid memory of the dream, and the knowledge that the valley depends on them, it pushes the fear aside. Their first challenge, the echoing caves.
Okay, the echoing caves, they sound ominous.
They do. They're described as a labyrinthine network of tunnels deep beneath the oldest mountains. Legend says every sound made within their depths bounced endlessly, creating a chorus of whispers and murmurs.
Disorienting.
Extremely. But tonight, the darkness is profound, unsoftened by the diminished sky gems. This isn't just physical darkness. It's a darkness that disorients the very senses, overwhelming with its reverberations.
A real test.
Definitely. Phelan, who has never ventured this deep before, relies solely on their keen senses of touch and sound to navigate the slick, uneven floor. The air is thick and cool, carrying the damp scent of ancient stone.
So they have to trust their instincts.
Completely. This environment is a true test of their sensory awareness, forcing Phelan to trust their inner navigation when external cues fail. It's a powerful metaphor, really, for having to find your way through confusion or uncertainty when the usual markers are gone.
That's a perfect parallel.
And as Phelan navigates this challenging darkness, they hear something. A faint, sorrowful chirping reaches their ears, a high-pitched, distressed sound echoing strangely.
Oh dear.
Following it, Phelan finds a small, fluttering shape bumping frantically against the cave walls. It's a glimmerwing.
A glimmerwing.
Yeah, a small bat, usually known for its bright, inquisitive eyes and confidence in using echoes. But this one is utterly disoriented and panicked. It's chirping, the whispers are wrong, the light, it's gone.
Ah, so the fading light affects others too. Their very instincts.
Exactly. It highlights how the fading light affects not just Phelan's valley, but the fundamental navigation of other creatures.
This is a crucial moment then. for Phelan to show compassion.
It is. When Glimmerwing asks, the sky gems, they've gone out, haven't they? I can't find my way out of this tangle of echoes. Phelan explained gently, confirming the dimming and offering guidance.
And the Riverstone. You mentioned it was for comfort.
Yes. What's striking here is how Phelan uses their simple, trusted Riverstone. They hold it out, hoping its minute warmth would offer a tiny anchor.
Not magical power, just comfort.
Exactly. Tangible comfort and security in a chaotic environment. Phelan then guides Glimmerwing using their sensitive whiskers and the slight variations in the echoing air towards a narrow crack.
Where there's some light?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Faint moonlight filtering through from the moon petal, which is like a luminescent flower in this world, but it's also dimmed by the failing sky gems.
Wow. Everything's connected.
It really is. This quiet act of service reinforces Phelan's gentle nature and purpose.
And Glimmerwing's reaction.
Profound gratitude. It lets out this relieved squeak, chirping, "You have the kindest heart and the quietest light." And then the bat directs Phelan to Old Willow Whisper, says this being knows tales woven from starlight and silence, tales of the celestial threads that bind everything.
A clue?
A vital new direction for the quest. And Phelan feels this warmth spreading through them, not just from the stone, but from the act of helping itself.
It's a lovely detail.
It emphasizes the reciprocal nature of kindness, doesn't it? Suggesting that even in moments of personal crisis, helping others can actually illuminate our own path forward.
That small act of kindness provides a tangible reward. It reinforces Phelan's path and demonstrates that connections are forged not just through shared goals, but through empathy.
Definitely. So Phelan follows Glimmerwing's direction, finding these ancient, overgrown root paths snaking deeper into the forest.
Sounds mysterious.
They're described as older than any creature in the valley could remember, leading through gnarled trees whose branches interwove likewise knowing fingers. The air is cooler here, imbued with the scent of deep earth and age. You get the sense it's a place of deep memory.
And how does Phelan find the way?
Guided by instinct, partly, but also by the faint hum of the lumen weave within their satchel.
Ooh, interesting. The tool itself.
Yeah, a subtle hint, almost a foreshadowing, that the tool is already responding to Phelan's innate connection to its destiny, like it's pulling them forward.
Fascinating.
After what must have been a long and winding journey, Phelan reaches a clearing dominated by Old Willow Whisper.
The ancient willow.
Yes, a grand ancient willow whose colossal gnarled branches swept to the ground like a wise flowing beard. Magnificent.
But there's always a but.
But its leaves, usually shimmering with stored starlight, now hang limply, a dull, listless green, reflecting the overall dimness and malaise of the world.
Another sign, a stark visual cue of how pervasive the problem is. It's impacting even the oldest and wisest beings.
Phelan approaches respectfully, and a low, resonant murmur ripples through the willow's leaves. The willow speaks.
Yes, confirming Phelan's observation. The sky feels thin, does it not? The dreams of the world are growing faint, and with them, the sky gems lose their brilliance.
Wow. So the willow knows.
Knows and articulates the core truth of the narrative. It's a powerful echo of Phelan's own silent fears, but now given voice and validation by an ancient source.
And here, Old Willow Whisper delves into ancient lore, telling Phelan a story older than the mountains.
The backstory?
Exactly. Long ago, the voice murmurs, before the dust of ages settled, the sky gems shone with perfect clarity, and this was thanks to the Stardusters.
Stardusters.
Like Phelan, special creatures, much like yourself, the willow says, born with the gift to tend to the celestial tapestry. Their role was to polish away the dust of forgetting.
There it is again, the dust of forgetting.
The tiny particles of ignored hopes, unfulfilled promises, and forgotten wonders that accumulated on the sky gems, dulling their shine.
Okay, this is a crucial allegorical point. Ignored hopes, unfulfilled promises.
Forgotten wonders, things we just let slip.
And the profound connection is then revealed. Each gem held a fragment of the world's consciousness, and when that consciousness dimmed, so too did the gem.
So it's a direct link. The stars fade because the world's spirit fades.
Precisely. It links the tangible fading of the stars directly to the intangible state of the world's collective spirit. The dust of forgetting isn't just apathy or laziness, it's the active accumulation of neglected potential.
Neglected potential.
When we, as individuals or as a collective, abandon dreams, leave promises unfulfilled, or ignore moments of joy, those intangible fragments of energy don't just disappear, They settle like a film on the very tapestry of our reality, dimming its brilliance.
Wow. It's a powerful reminder that our inner world directly impacts our outer world, even the
Our
stars.
inner world shapes our reality, literally, in this story.
So it's not just a poetic idea, it's a direct consequence. Phelan must be utterly captivated. They connect this to their dream, right? They mentioned the cloth.
Yes, the dream. It showed me a shimmering cloth, Phelan says, and Old Will-O-Wisper confirms it. Ah, the lumen weave.
The lumen weave.
It is the tool of the starduster, woven from pure moonlight and the first light of dawn. It gathers the dust of forgetting, transforming it back into pure nascent dreamlight.
Transforming it back, not just removing it.
Transforming it, that's key. This is the revelation of the tool and its incredible power, not just to clean, but to transform the essence of what was lost back into its original hopeful form.
So the neglected dreams aren't just wiped away, they're renewed.
Actively renewed, given a second chance, in a sense.
That's amazing. And where is this lumen weave?
The wise willow reveals its location. Near the highest point, the silent peak.
Silent Peak. Sounds challenging.
It is. It's where the celestial threads are thinnest, where the veil between your world and the starry tapestry is almost transparent, suggesting a place of heightened sensitivity, a nexus point between the mundane and the cosmic.
A thin place.
Exactly. But it comes with a warning. It is a long journey full of mists and quiet challenges. This sets the stage for the next phase of Phelan's quest. It emphasizes its difficulty, but also its ultimate importance. It's a pilgrimage.
Despite the warning, though, Phelan feels this surge of hope, a deeper sense of destiny.
The path is clear now.
Yes, the dream wasn't just a dream. It was a memory, a calling, passed down through the ages. With a respectful nod to Old Will-O-Wisper, Phelan turns towards the unseen path leading to the Silent Peak. Their small satchel feels both heavier with responsibility and lighter with renewed purpose.
That's a beautiful paradox.
Isn't it? This quiet determination truly propels them forward, knowing that the solution is within reach, albeit a difficult one.
The ascent begins.
Indeed. The journey towards the Silent Peak is a path only the most determined would dare. The first part takes Phelan through the murmuring mire.
The mires sound swampy.
It is a marshy area notorious for its soft, deceptive ground and its eerie dancing lights. Usually it's alive with bioluminescent plants and playful will-o'-the-wisps, but tonight,
Let me guess. It's dark.
almost entirely dark. The wisps are barely flickering, struggling against the pervasive gloom. The ground is tricky, soft, threatening to swallow Phelan. Confusing wisps of light try to lead them astray.
Deceptive lights.
And the air is thick with the scent of marsh gas and decaying leaves. It would be incredibly easy to get lost or just to give up in such a disorienting, energy-sapping environment.
This section really highlights Phelan's resilience, then, and their inner wisdom.
How's
Well, instead of relying on those deceptive, struggling external lights, Phelan closes their eyes, breathes deeply, and focuses on the true, unwavering direction towards the Silent Peak's silhouette.
trusting their inner compass?
Exactly. They hold their smooth river stone tight, feeling it cool and solid, a tangible anchor in the intangible murk. This simple stone, a comfort from home, becomes a vital tool for grounding themselves when external reality is confusing.
That stone keeps showing up.
It's a powerful symbol. It's a metaphor for having to look inward and trust your instincts when outward signs are misleading.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Because the stone itself seems to develop an unexpected property.
Oh.
It seemed to absorb and slowly release tiny, almost imperceptible bits of light, creating a faint, personal glow.
A personal glow from the stone.
Yeah, it's not enough to illuminate the path for navigation, but it's enough to remind Phelan of their own inner strength. A subtle reassurance that the light within them, the hope they carry, is present.
Wow. A beautiful internal metaphor made tangible. A physical manifestation of their quiet resolve.
Right. Phelan moves slowly, methodically, testing each patch of ground, listening to subtle shifts, constantly orienting themselves towards the mountain. With each step, they imagine the valley below, waiting for the light. That fuels their resolve.
Persistence.
After what feels like an age, they finally reach firmer ground, a small, quiet victory in the vast darkness, proving the power of methodical persistence against overwhelming odds.
But the journey is far from over.
Not even close. The path now leads upwards, growing steeper and rockier. This is the true ascent of the Silent Peak.
Okay, the real climb.
The slopes are covered in jagged stones, and a biting chill permeates the air, stripping away any lingering comfort. As Phelan climbs higher, the trees become sparse and gnarled, their branches twisted into skeletal shapes by the harsh mountain winds.
A bleak landscape.
Very. Thick mist swirls, often obscuring the path, trying to disorient Phelan and make them feel utterly alone. And the silence here is profound, broken only by the mournful whistle of the wind and the soft thump of Phelan's own brave heart.
This isn't just a physical challenge, then. It's an existential one. A direct confrontation with isolation and the immensity of the task.
This is truly the test of resolve. Phelan, so small against this colossal mountain, feels a sudden wave of doubt.
The doubt creeps in.
Yes. The task seems immense, perhaps too immense for one small creature. The chill seeps into Phelan's very bones, and a profound loneliness settled over them, as if the silence of the peak amplified their inner fears.
Understandable.
Questions of failure arise, the kind of crushing doubts we all face when confronting something overwhelmingly difficult. This is the moment of deepest vulnerability for our hero, a raw and honest depiction of inner struggle.
And this is where Phelan's breakthrough occurs. A moment that beautifully illustrates how purpose can transcend personal fear. Here's where it gets really interesting. Phelan finds strength not just within, but from the very world they are trying to save.
How does that happen?
In that moment of vulnerability, Phelan remembers the gentle creatures of the Whispering Valley. Glimmerwing's worried chirps,
Oh, right.
the wilting moon lilies, the dull glowworms, the quiet anxiety that settled over their home. They think of the silent, trusting hopes that lay dormant, waiting to be reawakened in the sky gems.
So it's not just about them anymore.
Exactly. It's not just about a dream or a duty. It's about bringing comfort and light back to their community, to their home. This renewed purpose, this simple, pure motivation begins to push back the creeping doubt. Phelan tightens their grip on the riverstone, feeling its familiar smoothness.
The anchor.
The anchor. And they were not alone. The hopes of the valley were with them. It's a powerful reminder that purpose often becomes clearer when we realize our efforts impact something larger than ourselves.
That's a profound realization. It's an incredible shift. Taking a deep, shuddering breath, Phelan pushes onwards, one small paw after another. They are no longer carrying just their own burden, but the collective hope of their entire world. As the mist thins near the summit, Phelan sees this breathtaking sight. A small, ancient shrine.
A shrine, up here.
Almost completely overgrown, but unmistakably man-made. Faint carvings are etched into its stone walls, elegant lines depicting constellations, and tiny figures gently polishing stars.
Figures polishing stars, like the Stardusters.
Exactly. The air around it feels strangely alive, humming with a very faint ethereal energy. This is the Shrine of Revelation, a place clearly designated for profound discovery and cosmic connection.
And with a final surge of effort, Phelan reaches it. Perhaps feeling a pull, a sense of rightness. The cold wind even seems to calm here, respecting the sacred space.
Acknowledging the moment.
Yes, and there, upon a simple, moss-covered pedestal, lies the lumen weave. Finally. It's described as delicate, intricate, shimmering faintly, with an inner luminescence that seemed to shift between the pale silver of moonlight and the soft cold of a distant sunrise. Woven from threads so fine they seem spun from pure light.
Beautiful.
And perfectly sized for Phelan's small paws. It's not just a tool. It's clearly a magical artifact perfectly crafted for this specific purpose. The journey's goal is finally within reach, shimmering with ancient purpose.
With a trembling paw, Phelan reaches out and gently touches the lumen weave.
The moment of connection.
The moment their fur brushes the shimmering fabric, a profound warmth spreads through Phelan. Not just physical warmth, but a deep, resonating sensation that filled their very being.
Wow.
The lumen weave itself hums, a soft, almost inaudible vibration that thrummed in Phelan's paws and echoed in their mind. It just feels right, like a missing piece clicking into place. This isn't just finding an object, it's finding a connection, a resonance with their true purpose.
And as Phelan holds the lumen weave, images start flashing in their mind, clear as if they were memories.
But not their memories.
No. Ancient visions, glimpses into a forgotten past. Phelan sees the true Stardusters, graceful and ethereal creatures gliding among the sky gems like celestial dancers.
Seeing the original keepers.
Yes. They move with practiced fluidity, their lumen weaves sweeping across the surface of the stars, lifting that fine, almost invisible shimmer of gray dust. If we connect this to the bigger picture, Phelan isn't just seeing history. They're remembering it, embodying it, becoming a living bridge to this ancient lineage.
That's incredible.
It suggests that knowledge and purpose can lie dormant within us, waiting for the right moment or the right tool to awaken it.
This leads to Phelan's profound understanding of the dust of forgetting. It's finally crystal clear that dust isn't just dirt or grime, it's something far more subtle, far more profound.
Echoing old Willow Whisper's words.
Exactly. It's the accumulated weight of forgotten worries, unfulfilled wishes, unspoken joys, and uncherished memories that cling to the sky gems. It's the residue of what we, as a collective, have let slip away, the things we stopped tending to.
Exactly. Each sky gem holds a tiny fragment of the world's consciousness. So when that consciousness dims, when dreams are abandoned, hopes left to wither from neglect, even simple joys uncherished, the essence of those unexpressed or unfulfilled feelings settles on the sky gems as this dulling dust of forgetting.
The greater the forgetting, the thicker the dust.
And the dimmer the sky gem became. This is such a powerful allegory. The state of the heavens directly reflecting the collective emotional and spiritual state of the world below. It's not merely passive accumulation, it's the direct result of neglect, of failing to honor our inner world. The sky gems aren't just decorative, they are living archives of the world's dreaming heart, a cosmic barometer of collective consciousness.
Living archives of the world's dreaming heart. I love that. And with this incredible revelation, Phelan feels a renewed sense of clarity and purpose. It changes everything.
So.
It's not just cleaning anymore. It's not simple maintenance. It's nurturing, rekindling, a deep form of care. This isn't a daunting chore, but a sacred responsibility.
A transformation in perspective, where a small act takes on cosmic significance. It's a powerful lesson about finding meaning in seemingly mundane tasks.
Absolutely. This profound understanding immediately translates into action, a decisive step forward. Phelan holds the lumen weave, which now feels soft yet sturdy, and looks up at the vast, dim expanse of the night sky, but now feeling this profound connection to it beyond just observation.
Ready to begin.
They choose a particularly dim sky gem, one that used to be a brilliant beacon but is now barely a spark, located almost directly above the silent peak. Taking a deep, fortifying breath of the cold mountain air, Phelan reaches up, extending their small paw and the lumen weave towards the distant star, a moment brimming with anticipation.
And with infinite tenderness, Phelan softly wiped the surface. It felt like touching nothing, yet at the same time it felt like touching something incredibly important, incredibly alive. As the lumen weave brushes the surface, a fine, almost invisible shimmer, like captured moonlight mixed with gray motes of dust, lifts away and dissolves into space. This isn't just removal, it's a transformation. The dust becomes nothing, its negative essence dissipated.
And then the breathtaking result. The sky gem, freed from its clean burden, immediately flared with renewed brilliance.
It worked.
It worked. It's not just a slight increase in light, it pulsed with a sudden, joyful burst of light. Like a heart reawakening, a sudden surge of life, a tiny, joyful pulse of light rippled downwards from the star, touching Phelan's face with its soft warmth before scattering into the night.
A cosmic sigh of relief.
Exactly. It's described as a silent cheer, a cosmic sigh of relief. It truly emphasizes the reciprocal relationship. Phelan's action brings light, and the light in turn offers comfort and confirmation.
Phelan must feel a thrill of quiet triumph, and rightfully so.
Totally. The dream was real, the legend true, and the lumen weave was indeed the key. The first spark of hope for the Whispering Valley had been rekindled.
That initial success is crucial. It validates Phelan's arduous journey and confirms their new identity as a Starduster. It's that first tangible sign of progress that fuels continued effort.
And as Phelan continues to gently polish the surrounding sky gems, one by one they notice something else, something even more profound.
What's that?
Polishing one star subtly affected the others nearby. The sky gems are not entirely independent, they are interwoven, part of something larger.
Ah, the interconnectedness. This leads to the discovery of the celestial threads, doesn't it?
Exactly. Phelan, with their newly awakened eyes, begins to see faint, almost invisible, shimmering lines connecting the sky gems. These are the delicate sinews old Willow Whisper had spoken of, holding the constellations together in their recognizable forms.
And the threads themselves.
Just like the sky gems, these threads are also covered in a fine layer of dust, making the familiar constellations appear blurred, indistinct.
So it's not just the individual lights, but the patterns, the stories they tell are fading too.
Precisely. This implies that the very stories and patterns that guide and comfort the world are themselves fading, losing their clarity and meaning. The profound realization settles over Phelan. It's not enough to just polish the individual jewels.
No, the entire fabric of the night needed to be restored.
Yes. Phelan is not just a star polisher, a cleaner of individual lights, but a keeper of the fading stars, tasked with restoring the very weave of the cosmos.
It elevates their mission significantly, from simple maintenance to a profound act of cosmic restoration, ensuring the integrity of the entire celestial tapestry.
With this newfound, expanded understanding, Phelan knows their task extends way beyond simply polishing individual sky gems. The very essence of the night sky, its guiding patterns, its comforting stories, lay within the constellations themselves.
These vast, delicate formations, woven from celestial threads, they needed to be revealed once more, brought back to their vibrant, purposeful forms.
So Phelan holds the lumen weave, its gentle hum, now a steady, comforting companion. They look up at the blurred shapes of the constellations, their familiar outlines almost lost in the pervasive dust of forgetting.
And with a soft, intuitive understanding of the interconnectedness, Phelan begins what the source describes as a gentle, rhythmic dance.
A dance across the heavens.
Yes, it's not a hurried or frantic motion, but a graceful, slow sway, a quiet choreography across the heavens. It indicates a deep reverence for the task. Phelan moves their paws, sweeping the lumen weave in long, flowing motions along the unseen celestial threads that connect the sky gems.
And as the weave sweeps,
The fine, ethereal shimmer, the dust of forgetting, detached from the threads and dissolves into the vastness of space, leaving no residue. And with each sweep, the constellation segments begin to snap into sharper, brilliant focus, like a cosmic artist refining their masterpiece.
that's beautiful. It highlights the patient, almost meditative quality of meaningful work. So what does this all mean for the constellations we see? It means they're being brought back to life, one by one, not just as bright spots, but as coherent, meaningful patterns once more.
The source gives us some specific examples, doesn't it? Bringing this cosmic task down to a relatable level.
It does. First, Phelan seeks out the sleeping bear, a constellation usually seen lumbering peacefully across the northern sky, its outline almost completely obscured by dust.
Okay.
With careful, sweeping motions, Phelan polishes the threads that form its sturdy legs and its broad, sleepy back. As the dust clears, the bear's distinct form returns, its gentle shape now distinct and comforting to the dreaming creatures below. It's not just a bear, it's a symbol of peace and slumber, now fully visible.
Then, Phelan turns to the whispering willow, a graceful constellation whose long, trailing branches usually seem to weep tears of starlight.
Its delicate tendrils were particularly encrusted with forgotten wishes.
Ah, forgotten wishes. So this constellation held the weight of untold yearnings.
Seems like it. Phelan patiently traces each ethereal branch with the lumen weave, understanding the depth of the neglect here. As the last of the shadow dust lifted, the willow shimmered, its star leaves seemingly rustling with silent whispers of renewed hope.
Wow. This illustrates how the nature of the constellation itself relates to the kind of forgotten hopes it might embody, and how its restoration brings back a specific kind of comfort or aspiration to the world below.
And finally, the leaping hare, a constellation that often seemed to dart playfully across the southern sky, guiding travelers with its swift, energetic form.
But its shape had become slow and indistinct under the dust.
Exactly. So Phelan uses quicker, more precise strokes of the lumen weave, restoring the lines of its powerful legs and alert ears. The leaping hare sparkles once more, embodying alertness and nimble joy.
These examples give us such a vivid picture of the meticulous and purposeful task, showing how the unique characteristics of each constellation aren't just physical shapes, but reflections of universal qualities.
And what's truly profound here is the deeper connection Phelan experiences as they perform this cosmic task.
It's more than just cleaning.
Way more. Phelan feels more than just clearing dust. They feel a faint echo of the very dreams and hopes that had been forgotten, an almost psychic link to the collective consciousness.
As the dust of forgetting lifts, these dormant fragments of consciousness were gently released transformed and reabsorbed by the sky gems, making them glow with a deeper, more resonant light.
So it's like an alchemical process, returning essence to its pure form.
That's a great way to think about it. Metaphorically, Phelan is gently untangling a great cosmic knot, a knot composed of trapped emotions and neglected potential, thereby allowing the pure essence of dreams to flow freely once more.
So it isn't just maintenance, it's a form of cosmic therapy, a fundamental restoration of balance between the inner and outer worlds.
And the impact on the sky is palpable. It hummed with a quiet gratitude, a subtle vibration Phelan could feel in their very bones, a direct communication from the cosmos. Each restored constellation adds its voice to this silent chorus, growing brighter and clearer with every completed pattern. The vast, dark canvas of night is slowly, magically being repainted with strokes of pure light, transforming from a muted, threadbare tapestry into a breathtaking masterpiece once more.
And Phelan just keeps going.
Doesn't stop until the first faint blush of dawn. They have polished countless individual sky gems and meticulously redrawn the celestial threads of the most important constellations. Their paws are tired, but their heart is full, filled with the quiet satisfaction of a sacred duty fulfilled.
And the result?
The night sky above the silent peak becomes a breathtaking tapestry of glittering lights. More vibrant, more alive than Phelan had ever seen it. The constellations are clearer, closer, more real, their stories almost audible in their brilliance.
Beautiful.
The entire world below, still wrapped in the last hours of darkness, seems to sigh in relief, basking in the profound, comforting glow that Phelan had brought back. The stars are no longer just points of light. They are stories, wishes, and hopes, once again shining brightly for all to see.
It's a testament to the power of one small creature's dedication.
Absolutely. Illustrating that even the biggest problems can be addressed through consistent, purposeful, and deeply connected action.
As the first faint blush of pink and orange paints the eastern sky, Phelan begins their journey back to the Whispering Valley. The descent from the silent peak feels entirely different from the arduous climb.
I bet.
The air is crisp and clear, filled with a new sense of promise, and the world below is bathed in this soft, ethereal light from the still sparkling sky gems, which continue to shine with remarkable brilliance even as dawn approaches.
A completely transformed landscape, reflecting Phelan's success. The transformation of the familiar landmarks must be striking too, a testament to the ripple effect of Phelan's work.
Oh, definitely. The echoing caves, remember how intimidating they were?
Dark and confusing.
Now they're no longer dark or intimidating. Restored starlight filters through the cracks, creating gentle patterns. And Glimmerwing.
Is Glimmerwing okay?
Chirps, happy, confident, zipping through the tunnels, guiding their way with sure echoes, exclaiming with obvious joy, "The light! It's back, dear Phelan! Thank you, thank you!"
Ah, that's wonderful. Even the creatures themselves feel the shift. Their very instincts realigned by the renewed light.
And the murmuring mire, that confusing maze of shadows.
What about?
Now a tranquil expanse. The bioluminescent plants glow with soft, cheerful lights, and the playful will-o'-the-wisps dance with renewed vigor, no longer misleading, but guiding travelers along clear, safe paths.
Amazing.
The heavy scent of marsh gas is replaced by the sweet, clean smell of dew-kissed reeds. Every step Phelan takes feels lighter, imbued with the sense of a grand task completed. They even notice tiny dew spiders spinning their morning webs.
Oh.
Each thread catching the last glorious glint of the stars, sparkling like miniature necklaces, a perfect microcosm of the revitalized world.
Finally, just as the sun's first golden rays kiss the highest trees, Phelan arrives back in the familiar embrace of the Whispering Valley.
Home again.
And the valley itself is transformed, a vibrant echo of the celestial restoration. The night-blooming moon lilies, once hesitant, now stand tall and proud, their petals unfurled with renewed confidence.
And the glowworms
Shine with a cheerful, vibrant light, mirroring the stars they once reflected. The entire valley hums with a quiet, joyful energy, a collective sigh of relief and contentment.
So Phelan, tired but filled with quiet, profound joy, slips back into their cozy burrow, the lumen weave gently folded beside them.
And the source emphasizes, importantly, that Phelan's task is not a one-time event.
Ah, right, it's ongoing.
It's an ongoing responsibility, a gentle duty to be embraced each night. The dust of forgetting will always accumulate, because such is the nature of a world with hopes and dreams. But Now there was a keeper to tend to the celestial weave.
It's like tending our own inner gardens, an endless cycle.
Exactly.
And as Phelan settles into their soft bed, stretching out weary paws, they look out their window. The sky gems are beginning to fade with the rising sun, but they are no longer dim and sorrowful.
No, they're brilliant, clear, holding the vibrant promise of a magnificent return the following night.
The entire world feels balanced again, safe and secure. Phelan drifts off to sleep, their dreams filled with shimmering lights, the gentle hum of the lumen weave, and the silent gratitude of a world reconnected to its forgotten hopes.
They are no longer just Phelan from the valley.
No. They are the keeper of the fading stars, carrying the quiet strength of the cosmos. The hum of the fully restored sky gems, this subtle melody of hope and dreams, lulls Phelan into a deep, peaceful slumber, promising sweet starlit dreams until the night calls them to their gentle cosmic duty once more.
It's such a beautiful and powerful story, isn't it?
It really is. This deep dive into Phelan's journey reminds us that even the smallest among us can carry the quiet strength to address the greatest needs, and that the state of our outer world often mirrors the landscape of our inner one. And it leaves us with a lingering, powerful thought, doesn't it? What forgotten hopes or uncherished memories might be accumulating as dust in your world, and what small, gentle act might serve as your own lumen weave, ready to bring back the light not just for yourself, but for the collective tapestry of our shared reality. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're doing something a bit different. We're taking this really unique story, the Moon Whisperer and the Lost Cloud Lily, and we're going deep. We want to unpack it, find the sort of hidden mechanics, the surprising ideas inside.
Yeah, our mission, like always.
Exactly, to see what this beautiful, whimsical story can tell us about, deeper principles.
Right. And what's really interesting here, I think, is how this story, which seems, totally fantastical,
Yeah.
it actually works as this powerful metaphor. It shines a light on things like interconnectedness, how subtle energies ripple through a system, and crucially, the power of getting to the root cause, finding resolution. We'll be looking at how every little piece matters.
No matter how small.
No matter how small. And how just one thing being out of balance can, throw the whole ecosystem off.
Okay, let's do it. Let's jump into this magical world and figure out what it really means when things, or maybe whole systems, start to go dim. So first, let's picture this place. It's a world sort of woven from dreams, gentle breezes, high above everything.
The Sky Gardens.
The Sky Gardens, yeah. These huge, quiet islands, earth, blossoms, all just floating.
Tethered by, invisible threads to the stars. It sounds incredibly delicate, doesn't it? A really balanced system.
It does. And we're focusing on one specific garden, the Whisperwind Garden. It's supposed to be the most shimmering one.
And that's where we meet Lumi.
Right, Lumi, our main character, a moon whisperer.
Tiny, no bigger than your thumb.
Yeah, and made of stardust, woven from forgotten lullabies. It sounds lovely, but there's more there, right?
Oh, definitely. That description, it's not just poetry. It tells you Lumi has this deep connection to the emotional energy of the place.
Like a living sensor.
Sort of, yeah. Uniquely tuned in to the garden's balance, Lumi can feel things others might not.
That makes sense. So Lumi's kind of our interface to this system. And Lumi's whole world centers around these cloud lilies. They're described as huge petals, like soft clouds.
They soak up starlight, hum gently. Apparently feel like sleeping on a cloud.
Sounds nice. But they're more than just comfy flowers, right? They're absolutely vital.
Crucial. They are, quote, the lanterns of the night. They're the foundation, the energy source.
Guiding moths, swarming sparrows.
Everything depends on them. The dewdrop ponds, the air currents, everything relies on that soft glow. It really highlights, critical infrastructure in any system.
What happens when that main energy node starts to flicker?
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's the core issue.
Which leads us straight into the problem. The first domino falling, you could say. Lumi notices one evening something's wrong. The elder bloom. This is one of the biggest, oldest cloud lilies.
A real powerhouse in the system.
Yeah, and it's dim. Petals drooping. The hum is barely there. It's not just a sad flower, it's a system alert.
And you see the impact immediately, the air around it. Cool. Still, not warm and vibrant like it should be.
Even a tiny sleep sparrow is shivering.
Those aren't just details, they're feedback indicators. Clear signs of an imbalance, the energy flow is down, and the environment's reacting.
So it's not just the lily itself. A shiver here, less light there. It affects the whole feel of the garden.
The whole system starts to feel it. Less light, less comfort for everyone. This isn't just, a story beat. It shows how quickly a small disturbance can
It
spread.
escalates.
Definitely. And this is where Lumi's sensitivity, that sensor quality we talked about, clicks in. Lumi has this key insight.
That's that.
Lumi knows the cloud lilies get their energy from happy dreams drifting up from below.
Ah, so the power source is positive emotional input. Interesting.
Exactly. So if a lily is wilting, it means it's not getting enough of that specific input, not enough joy.
Okay, so it's a deficiency. That's the diagnostic clue. Lumi needs to look deeper than the wilting petal.
Right. It guides the investigation away from just the symptom.
So Lumi, despite being tiny, decides, okay, I have to do something.
Takes initiative.
Yeah, and starts this quiet flight across the garden, really looking around, observing.
And what does Lumi see?
Well, the usual shimmer is gone. It's muted. Water sprites are hiding. The air feels heavy still.
So Lumi's basically doing an environmental assessment, seeing how far the impact of the elder bloom's dimness has reached.
Makes sense. And this journey leads Lumi to seek wisdom, to find old Bramblefoot.
The oldest, wisest creature around. A cloud beetle?
Kindly, slow-moving, shell shimmering with sunset colors, polishing pebbles under a tree. Sounds like quite the character.
He's basically the system's historical database, the elder expert who knows the deeper workings.
And old Bramblefoot has the answer, or at least the next piece of the puzzle.
He does. He reveals that the elder bloom drinks from the dream waters,
A dream water.
a river of pure, happy dreams flowing just beneath the sky gardens.
Okay, so like a hidden energy conduit.
Exactly. And if the elder bloom's light is dim, it means the dream waters themselves are troubled.
So the problem isn't in the garden, it's in the source beneath it, like the power plant, not the wires.
That's a great analogy. And he pinpoints the root cause even more precisely. Sometimes, he says, a special dream gets lost, or tangled, forgotten.
Down in the sleeping world.
Right. And this creates a little blockage, like an eddy, in the flow of the dream waters.
And the elder bloom, being the oldest, the most sensitive.
Feels it first. Feels it most strongly. It shows how even a tiny bit of bad data or an emotional block can mess up the whole flow.
And the sensitive parts show symptoms first.
Exactly. So the solution isn't fixing the lily, it's clearing the blockage at the source.
You have to go find the lost dream and set it free. So Lumi understands now. It's a big task, but they have to do it. They start going down.
Courageous, really. Following the elder bloom's roots down into the mists.
It's like drilling down, isn't it? Past the symptoms to the cause, the air gets cooler, denser.
Shifting from the surface world to something deeper.
And they reach the veiled caverns. Huge, dim spaces carved out by dreams flowing through.
Very little light down there, just Lumi's own glow, and maybe a shimmer from a passing dream. Feels like the system's subconscious, maybe.
Or the processing layer, yeah, where the raw data, the dreams flow. And you can tell something's wrong because the air is filled with this soft, mournful sighing.
The flow isn't right.
No. And Lumi flies deeper and finds it, the blockage. A strange ripple. A sluggish, hazy, dark patch in the dream waters.
That's the symptom, but down in the deeper layer, the actual blockage.
And inside it, the lost dream.
And this part is just, wow. It's described as a tiny ball of light, barely glowing, flickering, trembling with sadness.
Tangled up in dull gray lint, which turns out to be forgotten worries.
Yeah, and the dream itself, it belonged to a child, a little kid who wanted to build a sandcastle.
A magnificent one.
Right, but a wave washed the first try away, and the child went to sleep, feeling just a tiny bit disappointed.
And forgot the fun they'd had building it.
Exactly. That small, unaddressed sadness, that tiny pang. It caused the dream to get stuck. It couldn't flow. Created the eddy.
Which blocked the dream waters.
Which dimmed the elder bloom.
Which affected the whole Whisperwind Garden.
All from a child's minor disappointment about a sandcastle.
That is profound. It really makes you think, doesn't it? How these tiny emotional knots, these lost dreams or worries we don't deal with.
What impact could they be having on us, on the systems we're part of, like families or workplaces?
Yeah. What little blockages might be subtly dimming things around us?
That really is the core question here. And Lumi gets it. They see the dream as too fragile, too sad to just yank free.
Needs more than just brute force.
It needs comfort, understanding. It's about a restorative action, not just a technical fix. Addressing the state of the blocked element itself.
So Lumi remembers their own nature, the stardust, the lullabies.
And starts to sing, a soft hum, like leaves or a distant star, a song of comfort.
And extends their paws, but doesn't touch. Just hovers, sends out waves of starlight.
It's like gentle, empathetic energy transfer, recalibration.
Uh-huh. And it works. Slowly, the gray threads, the forgotten worries, they shimmer and just unravel.
The dream starts to glow brighter, stops trembling so much, becomes just waiting,
Variety.
ready. And then, with one last gentle push of starlight,
It floats free, vibrant again, humming its own little joyful tune.
and it starts to rise, heading back up towards the elder bloom. The blockage is resolved. The flow can resume.
Through empathy, through targeted comfort. And as Lumi follows it back up, you can feel the change immediately.
The positive feedback loop kicking in.
Yeah, the sky gardens are getting brighter, warmer. You can smell moon blossoms, hear the hum of other cloud lilies getting stronger, the system's recovering.
And the elder bloom itself.
Yeah.
The reunion is amazing. The lost dream just merges gently into its petals.
And there's this soft whoosh.
Dimness gone, vanished.
The lily unfurls, glowing, radiating warmth and light everywhere, humming this deep, grateful tune.
A symphony of restoration, like you said. It's beautiful.
And the whole garden just breathes this sigh of relief. You see it everywhere. Sparrows chirping, snuggling in the warmth.
Water sprites dancing again. Moon blossoms opening fully.
The system is healed. Completely. And Lumi goes back to their nook. Tired, sure, but peaceful.
Knowing they fixed it. And maybe that child is now dreaming happily about building the perfect sandcastle.
Wow. What an incredible story to dive into. It starts with one dim flower.
And takes us down to the very flow of dreams. It really hammers home how connected everything is, even things that seem totally separate.
Yeah, that even the smallest things, these ethereal little dreams, can be the key to the health of the whole system.
And connecting it to, the bigger picture. It strongly suggests that these little unresolved issues, minor disappointments, forgotten worries,
Like the sandcastle dream.
yeah, they really can create blockages that have much larger effects than we realize, affecting things we can see.
And the solution wasn't just fixing it, it was that compassionate approach, understanding, comfort, that turned out to be the powerful move.
That's a huge takeaway. Targeted, empathetic engagement rather than just trying to patch the surface symptom.
So, thinking about all this, maybe the question for you listening is, where might a lost dream be affecting your world? Big or small?
Or a system you're part of, at home, at work, anywhere.
And what kind of song or starlight, what kind of specific understanding action might be needed to set it free, to bring back the light?
Something to think about.
Definitely. Thank you for diving deep with us today. We really hope you found something wonderful, something insightful in this story.
If you're still awake, we'd love to know, where are you watching from tonight? Drop a little comment, even just a globe. And if our corner brings you peace, a gentle subscribe would mean the stars to us. Now, let the world fall away. Let the thoughts drift like clouds. You've done enough for today. Close your eyes, breathe slow, and rest beautifully.